All right. Really quickly, I'll just go over this highlight really quickly. We're going to introduce the team, introduce the Creative Exchange Fund. We're going to see what spaces are available at the medium. I'm going to unpack what the Spectra Series is and what the application looks like for that. And then we'll go over the selection criteria and the support and resources. Here's our beautiful team, and everyone is here on this call tonight. I'm the artist and community manager of the medium. John Wayne Farr, also the DJ, is our general manager here at the medium. Thalia Madewell, operations manager. She does all of our calendaring. Cynthia Tran is our events in front of house coordinator. Most of you all, for this particular fund, if you received this, you would be working directly with Cynthia. And then we have Evan Alvarado on the call as well. He's our creative content manager and has been making and will continue to make all of the cool videos and content that's coming out of the medium, featuring a lot of the Creative Exchange Fund recipients. Our mission here at the medium is that we are a radically inclusive venue for creative expression that offers affordable and equitable access to space for artists of all backgrounds. These are not just words we say, we live and die by these words every single day in every interaction that we have, even with each other, and especially the people that come into this space. Okay, Creative Exchange Fund. At CASH, we understand that the creative process takes time, money, and affordable space to work. This is why the Creative Exchange Fund was created, so that we could invest in creatives by providing funding, professional development, and a free space to take creative risks. This is an initiative designed in partnership with the Tyson Family Foundation to bring life, art, and community experiences to the medium. The Creative Exchange Fund has 5 unique funding opportunities to support live performances, community events, artists in residence, and innovative exhibitions. Specifically, at the medium. Where is the medium? We are located in downtown Springdale. We have a 25,000 square foot facility that has a theater, a black box, a gallery. It has classrooms. This is where all of the Creative Exchange Fund projects will take place. That is a requirement of the project, so that we can bring life and vitality to downtown Springdale while giving space to creatives to do their projects. The medium specifically is an artist-led project of CASH. And we over here at the medium are really dedicated to removing barriers between creatives and their work and their audiences by providing accessible studio, rehearsal, performance, and exhibition space. So even outside of the Creative Exchange Fund, we remain a venue to the community, to the creative community, to come in, to rent and work with us to do their projects. The Creative Exchange Fund, here are the 5 funding opportunities. There's the Producers Award, the Platform, the Mixtape Music Series, the Medium Artist in Residence, and tonight we are talking about the Spectra Series. There are 6 of these awards, and they are each $4,500 for a total of 36 award opportunities. And we'll talk about Spectra Series tonight, and you may or may not feel like this is fits in with who you are and the project that you're looking for. And that's why we're here tonight, is to talk about what this is specifically. And if you feel like maybe one of these other opportunities might be in better alignment with who you are and what you're trying to do, then please jump into one of those info sessions as well. We would highly encourage that, so you can kind of do your research and know where to plug yourself in. And please remember, if you have questions, I'm sure Thalia's blown up the chat, but if you have questions as I start to go, just throw it in the chat. We acknowledge that this is a lot of information, and our team is still learning and memorizing all of the different details and questions about this. So we can't possibly expect you to have all the answers. So please feel free to ask questions. All right. Here is a screenshot of our website, themedium.art. And we wanted to point out, see where the pink finger is pointing in the bottom left-hand corner. If you click that little tab, you can translate the whole website into Spanish, if that is something that you need. Or if you know someone that would benefit, please point that out to them and share that with them. And if you're interested in learning more about this as we continue to move along, and I'll scoot through all of this tonight, but if you click on the menu in the top right-hand corner, and then there's a CXF button that stands for Creative Exchange Fund, click that, and then it will lead you to this page. And if you're interested in learning more or can't remember the things that I'm saying this evening, you can click on the Spectra series or any of the series or any of the funding opportunities to learn more about each program, all of the eligibility and requirements that come with each of them. And then you can even register for the info sessions on the site there. Okay, let's go into the Spectra series. If you watched or participated in the Creative Exchange Fund this last year, this program was called the Call For Curators. We have renamed that to the Spectra series. And this series invites visual artists, artist collectives, and art facilitators to host a group exhibition in either the medium's main gallery or outdoor campus. This fund celebrates bold, innovative, and thought-provoking collaborative exhibitions that has at least 3 participating artists, and that can include yourself. Details about the Spectra series. You will receive $4,500. There are 6 of these opportunities. 3 awards will go to indoor exhibitions, and 3 awards will go to outdoor exhibitions. All disciplines are invited to apply to this, including but not limited to film, video, and animation, fashion, fiber arts, multimedia, visual arts, literature, poetry, digital arts are welcome. This is mostly like visual work, 3-dimensional work. The available spaces are the main gallery walls, excluding the main gallery extension, and I'll show you an image of that in a moment to clarify, and the medium exterior and grounds. And we have some photos also I'm going to show you in a little bit. The time frame for this is a 6-week minimum exhibition time with 3-week install and deinstall. So we'd like for work to be on the walls or outside the building for at least 6 weeks. And then we give you a 3-week buffer to sort of coordinate the work and get the work installed, and then also to come and remove the work and deinstall. Eligibility for this particular fund. You guys see my cursor? You must be at least 18 years old to apply to this fund. Indoor proposed projects must fit within 4 feet of the main gallery wall to allow for audience access to the theater. I have some images I'm going to show you to kind of illustrate what that means, but please keep that in mind when you're considering what your application will be. All hardware, labels, hanging apparatus, and AV equipment must be provided by you, the lead artist. Practicing artists, artist groups, nonprofit arts and culture organizations, and for-profit creative entities are eligible to apply. And you do not need to be an Arkansas resident to apply to this particular fund. But the ratio of Northwest Arkansas artists featured in each exhibition must be no less than 50%. If you have questions about that, please put that in the chat. At least 50% of your artists need to be from Arkansas. The majority of the funds will be awarded to recipients in Benton, Washington, Madison, Crawford, Carroll, and Sebastian counties of Arkansas. And if you received the Call for Curators award this last year, you're not eligible to reapply for this year, but you're welcome to apply to any other fund. Okay, on our website, we have illustrated what each of the spaces in this venue can sort of accommodate. And so if you go to our website, themedium.art, and you click on the top right where it says Our Space, it's also on the homepage if you just scroll down a little bit and click Our Space or scroll down to it. This Spectra series is specifically for the main gallery at the Medium, no other space, and outdoors. But if you click Main Gallery, it will take you to this page, and it tells you a little bit about it, and you can click on facility specs, which kind of has an outline of what's available in that space. And then you can see the space layout, which will take you here. So here is a floor plan of the Medium. And if you're an indoor Spectra Series recipient, your exhibition will be in the main gallery, nowhere else. Cannot use the main gallery extension or the black box or anywhere else unless you rent those spaces. And that's a whole other conversation. But you have free reign in the main gallery. And then you also have an opportunity to present something outdoors if you apply as an outdoor, with an outdoor application. And here's what I mean by that. So this past year, here's some previous recipients that we had. On the left is Danielle Hatch with the pink fabric on the outside of the building. She also facilitated and brought in 3 other participating artists to do something on each side of the building, but she curated herself into this particular opportunity. So that is something available to you if you are an artist, but you're also an organizer and producer and you want to bring together a group exhibition. This is for you. Also, Thomas Erickson, in this middle photo, there's a group of people standing next to a sculpture. They collaborated on this sculpture that is a water feature, and it played meditative music throughout the day. That is a great example of an outdoor installation that we're looking for. And then finally, on the far right, there's a colorful sculpture installation that is by Paul Siebenthal and Alex Cogbill. They created a temporary sculpture, and you can kind of see in this photo, the footing is temporary. They didn't install it into the ground with concrete, but they figured out a way to install it for the 6-week duration. So those are just some good examples of what can happen outside. It's certainly not limited to these examples, but it just can kind of give you an idea of what was accepted this last year and what we're looking for. We would love to see some alternative ideas to outdoor installations. And if you have questions about what's possible or what we're looking for, now is the time to ask, or you're welcome to email us later too, and we can talk about it. So here is a photo of the main gallery indoors. So if your proposal is for an indoor exhibition, this was our most recent one for the last Creative Exchange Fund exhibition that we had, that just wrapped up this month. And we've changed the rules just a little this year. So you see that there is a table installation in the middle of the room by Danny Baskin. This next round, that won't be possible, and here is why. So everything is limited basically to the walls and 4 feet off of the walls. And this is why, my friends. The main gallery is a multi-use space. That's the primary entrance into the theater. All artwork for your proposed exhibition must be within 4 feet off of the walls in order to accommodate multiple projects and events during your exhibition timeframe. So if you look at this photo, we oftentimes rent out the main gallery to community groups or organizations or artists, collectives, and nonprofits to come in and have either concerts or in this particular setting, there was a dinner. We have stanchions, which are like those metal kind of barriers or like rope barriers that we can put up to keep people from getting too close to the artwork. We will work with you to make sure the artwork is safe and protected to the best of our abilities. But please, when you're applying, keep in mind that The only way in this photograph, you can see to the far left, there's like a little blue wall. That is the entrance to the main gallery, and that's the only way people can get in there. So please keep that in mind. Here's another example. We had a pop-up vendor market in the main gallery. So your artwork is on the wall and people are mingling and moving about in the larger part of the main gallery. This acts as a gathering space that's available for people to use while your exhibition is up. So please keep that in mind as you're thinking about what is possible to display. If you have fragile three-dimensional works that need a pedestal, we welcome that. We will just work closely with you to make sure that we take the best measures possible to protect your work and exhibit it in a way that feels good for you and your collaborators. If you have questions about this, please let us know. This is sort of a new element to this year. This is something we learned last year, that we were still using the main gallery and we had to work around a lot of the artwork. And so we just want to set you up well and help the community that's still using the space. As a part of the Spectra series, there's a little bit of professional development, and we're excited to offer you this year some virtual workshops that will happen with our brilliant director of cultural policy, Lucas. He's on the CASH team. Lucas has a very extensive background in curating specifically public art outdoors, but he also helped curate and led part of the project at the Ledger in downtown Bentonville and worked with other various curators to bring all the artwork to life in that space. So just super incredible national experience that Lucas brings to the table, and he's excited to meet with the Spectra series recipients one-on-one to walk you through or to offer these three different virtual workshop dates to walk you through best practices around exhibition planning, installation, coordination, and more. This is just a really important facet of what we're doing this year to help you all feel confident, but also to sort of build your skills in this industry to go forth and do other bigger, better, or different things after the Creative Exchange Fund. Okay, when you get to your application for the Creative Exchange Fund, there are 5 parts to the application. It consists of the lead artist information. And I'll just go ahead and read this little note at the bottom. If you're applying as a group of artists, arts and culture organization, or for-profit creative entity, your project must have a designated lead artist. That's basically one point person that's on the application, and that will be the point person that we communicate with through the duration of your award timeframe. Part 2 is supporting information for your artist group and organization, project information, professional artistic growth, and risk taking, and other miscellaneous questions will be on the application. This risk taking is something I want you all to take note of. This is something that comes up quite a bit, and we are specifically interested in working with artists and groups of artists that are sort of pushing the bounds or expanding their artistic practice in some capacity. Again, if you have questions, throw them in the chat, DM Thalia or one of us, not me because I'm not paying attention to the chat, but either Cynthia or Evan or John are also available. Let's see. I skipped a slide, apologies. Okay. The applications request the following information. I did this last time too. Lead artist information. We're going to want to know your geography, your discipline, and your level of experience. And we don't care if you don't have a ton of experience. That's okay. We're just trying to gauge the applications. Artist statement, your organization statement of purpose, some work samples. If you've never done curated or facilitated a group exhibition before, that's okay. Just show us some samples of some things maybe you've done before. We'd just like to see some experience. If you have any creative achievements, throw those out there. We'd love to see them. Project information. the title of your project, the description of your project, any key collaborators that you might know of, please list those on your application. We're curious about your timeline and your budget. And we'll go through that in just a couple more slides. On your application, there will be a selection for the time frame that you're interested in doing. You will not necessarily be guaranteed that, but please select which one works best for you, and we will plug you into the calendar as best as we can. So please know that walking into it. Projects begin in September 2023 and conclude in June 2024. So there's a likelihood if you apply to this, your exhibition may not be until the spring of next year. So keep that in mind as well, which some people really love because it gives you time to pull it all together. And then again, on the application, we're looking for how will this project give you the opportunity to take risks and expand your professional or artistic growth. Oh my goodness. Okay. Supporting information for the artists and organizations applying. How's everyone doing? Are we doing okay? Are we good? All right. Hopefully you guys are either taking notes or asking questions. Feel free to screenshot any of this as well. This information will be helpful, but please remember we're recording it and we'll put it on the website in a couple of days with Spanish captions. Okay, supporting information for your application. We'll look for social media or website links if you have them, and any relevant experience that you might have. So to kind of unpack this a little bit, which will include creative achievements, accomplishments, and milestone activities, any performances, productions, or awards within the last 7 years. And please note too, any gap in activity between 2020 and the present won't necessarily affect your review of the application. Up to 3 work samples and then descriptions of your work samples. Here's what our panelists are looking for when they're reviewing the applications. They're looking for artistry and strength of concept. Your applicant demonstrates a clear, compelling vision or purpose for their work in general and presents strong work samples. The proposed project concept aligns with this vision or purpose, and the proposed project is relevant, interesting, and inspiring and thought-provoking. They're also looking for capacity and feasibility. Does the applicant demonstrate the capacity and skill to carry out their proposed project? Applicant clearly takes in account the feasibility of their project within the CXF program restrictions, whether physical space, time allotted, equipment needs, etc. And does the applicant's proposal, budget, and timeline align? We're also looking for professional artistic growth and risk-taking. Proposed project represents an opportunity to take risks, an artistic challenge, or a creative stretch for the applicants. The applicant demonstrates how this project opportunity relates to and furthers their career and artistic goals. I would encourage all of you to either screenshot this particular slide or refer back to it in the future, because this is, when you're writing your application, this is a great slide to refer back to. All right, proposed project description. We're hoping that you are able to describe in detail the proposed group exhibition. Include the title of your exhibition. What's the concept of it? Who is involved in that? And how you intend to utilize the space, and if your exhibition will be indoors or outdoors. We'd like for you to select your preferred dates for the project and provide the timeline for the planning, creation, and production of your proposed project, including the date ranges and corresponding details. And describe how your proposed project will give you the opportunity to take creative risks and expand artistically. See how that piece keeps coming up? If you have questions about what that means, please let us know. Okay, here's a screen grab of what the budget looks like on the application. If you look at the very bottom, it says total expenses should equal $4,500. If your entire project is actually going to cost more than that, that's okay. Just know that we are only able to give you $4,500, but that's okay if your dollar amount is not entirely equal. When this says artist fees, we are interested in you, first of all, paying yourself as the facilitator. If you're writing the grant, there's a lot of labor that goes into that, and we recognize that and celebrate that. So, or at least celebrate you and want you to pay yourself. So where it says artist fees, please think about yourself. Contracted artists and creatives, we hope and encourage you to pay the artists that will participate in the group exhibition with you, or that you're bringing in. So we're hopeful that you don't just keep $4,500 and no one is paid. You need to pay the artists that you're bringing in. Contracted personnel or admin, that means if you need additional support, you need to hire a projection, I don't know, get some AV support in some capacity. That's where you would put that. Supplies, equipment, and materials, budget that in. If you need to purchase, I don't know, hardware to hang the artwork, or if you have a vision for a projector and that needs to be in the budget as well. We have projectors at the medium, but we unfortunately cannot lend them out for the 8 weeks or 9 weeks that it takes for your exhibition. Training, rentals, facilities, health and safety, marketing, outreach, documentation, and insurance. Should we pause here and answer any questions? Does anyone have any questions about this particular slide before I move on? All right, when you start your application in Submittable, which is the program that we use, you're able to save your application and go back and edit it before you hit submit and finalize it. So you can play with these numbers a little bit. Okay, panelists. We have a large group of panelists that are looking at all of the applications. And let's see, each panel consists of members from the Medium's Advisory Committee and our Leadership Council, our cash staff, and representatives from the Tyson Family Foundation. And not listed here are also some members of our board of directors will be invited to participate as well. We are ensuring that panelists are experts in at least one artistic discipline, and they possess an understanding of the creative communities of Northwest Arkansas and are representative of a variety of communities, experiences, and backgrounds. And this is an important thing to say out loud here too. Please note that in the instance a panelist has applied for one of the CXF opportunities, they will not be allowed to panel that particular fund. Let us know if you have questions about that, but we have about 30 panelists to ensure that the paneling process is equitable. These are the things that are considered when determining awards. This is coming up over and over again, so hopefully this is sinking in. Does the project present opportunities for professional artistic growth and risk-taking? Is the project feasible, and does the applicant demonstrate the capacity and skill to achieve what they propose? And does the applicant outline a compelling artistic vision or purpose for their practice in general? And does the project concept align with this artistic vision or purpose? This is the rubric that we give to our panelists. This is what they're going to be looking at your application versus these questions. And when we talk about the project feasibility, that's something we could spend a lot of time talking about as well. We just want to make sure you're not hoping, to paint the building black and bring in I don't know, I'm just making stuff up. I don't know. We're just trying to make sure you can bring it back down to earth. You've got these great, brilliant ideas. How are you actually going to get it across the finish line, and how can we help you do that? So keep that in mind. That's what we mean when we say project feasibility. Okay, you all made it here this evening. Thank you. There's some more info sessions coming up. But most importantly, I want you all to take note of the in-person site tour. We're opening up the Medium this Saturday from 10:30 to noon, and we're going to walk you around show you the spaces that are available for the different funding opportunities. And if you've never been here, or if you have been here before, it's just a good time to come and meet the team, see the space, and kind of absorb the vibe of the medium and see what we're looking for. We also, beginning June 29th, at the end of this month, we're going to start one-on-one support. These are virtual sessions. You can pick one individual from our team and book a 20-minute session with them and ask us anything. You can just have one-on-one time with us, and you could talk about your application. You could just talk about your project. You could ask us which fund you should apply to. This is a great time to do that. But please note that's kind of closer to whenever the applications are due, July 17th. So I would encourage you to attend as many info sessions as you can, even if you're not interested in applying to others, just so you can hear the other questions people are asking and sort of learn where you best fit in. And then we also have an application workshop, June 28th at 6:30. That's virtual. We'll walk you through the whole application and kind of cover the grounds there. How am I doing on time? We're coming up on the end. Okay, really quickly. If you go to our website, if you go to themedium.art/CXF, scroll to the bottom, we have, I don't know, 30 or 40 frequently asked questions that we've spent a lot of time on. Scroll down there, read through that, and see if maybe some of the questions that you have bouncing around in your head and heart are also on the website. Here's a couple of them I thought we might just read out loud here so that you all could sit with it. Can I apply for more than one fund? No. Lead artist should select the fund most closely aligned with their discipline and scope of their proposed project. However, lead artists may participate in additional CXF projects for which they are not listed as lead artists. If you have questions about that, let us know. If I received a CXF award last year, am I eligible to apply this year? Yes, as long as you're applying to a different sub-fund. So if you received the Producers Fund last year, you cannot apply to the Producers Fund this year. Apply to something else. Take a creative risk. Do a different fund. How can CXF funds be used? Funds must be used for direct costs, including artist fees, project-related materials and supplies, travel costs, consultant fees. We're pretty open to how you use those funds. Do I have to be a resident of the state of Arkansas to apply? Not for the Spectra Series, you don't. Eligibility varies for each of these different funds, so please see each fund on our website to kind of unpack which one. But for Spectra, you do not need to be a resident of Arkansas. You just need to make sure at least half of the artists that you bring in are from Arkansas. This is just to retain local talent and to celebrate, elevate, and amplify the voices and artists that we have here in Northwest Arkansas. What is the work period? CXF projects and their associated events, they'll take place during an assigned work period specific to each fund. Lead artists should carefully consider feasibility when selecting your work period options in the application. Can the lead artist participate in other CXF projects? Yes. You can be a member in someone else's project as long as you're not the lead artist, which is the main name on your application. You all found your way here tonight. You did a great job. Somehow you found how to register and get a Zoom link. But if you're interested in learning more, go to themedium.art/CXF, scroll to the bottom. And if you just continue scrolling past this little screen grab here, there's a lot of other options for info sessions, the application workshop, and the in-person site tour that's this Saturday. Feel free to register for any and all of those that you are interested in. And real quick, before we wrap up and open up for questions, I just want to point out that each of you that are on this call tonight should use this resource that Cash has that's free and available. If you go to cashcreate.org/directory, and at the very top, click resources and directory, it'll take you to this page. This is an online database of artists, art collectives, arts nonprofits and organizations, please add your name here. No matter who you are and what you do, we invite you to add your name or your organization to this list. This is a free directory that we send people to all the time. So if someone comes to us and says, do you know of someone that plays cello while standing on one foot and maybe yodels at the same, I don't know. We go to the directory and we find them. And if you're not listed on there, we can't recommend you. So we can if we know you and we think of you, but sometimes we get overwhelmed with trying to remember everyone's name and medium. So add your stuff to the directory. This is a good time, a good resource for you. Okay, we just blitzed through that. I'm trying to get through this so we can ask questions. I think we're supposed to be done here at 6 o'clock. So we have 15 minutes to address any questions. And I'm going to hand it over to Thalia to maybe, I see that there's 25 things in the chat. Maybe that's all Thalia, I don't know.
It is all me. Y'all, are you that on top of it? You have no questions. I'll kind of answer a few questions that came up in the general info session, and were things that we worked through last year, and then maybe y'all can riff off of these. All of your money will be given to you up front. So it won't be paid in installments. Everybody will actually be paid right off the bat. So if you are a Q3 artist, maybe you're not doing your exhibition until March, you're going to get your money in September or October, whenever accounting can get those checks out. And that's because we want you to have the funds to get all of your stuff together. And again, pay yourself and the artists involved in your project. Like Amber said, you will only be able to use the space that is designated for the Spectra Series, which is the main gallery. If you're able, I second what Amber said. It would be very helpful for you to come to the tour on Saturday. If you are unable to come to the tour on Saturday, we're going to have some Calendly links where you can schedule an alternate date to walk through the main gallery. And P.S., we're always here 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. except some Mondays and Fridays. We tend to recover from weekend events on those days. Also, like Amber said, you will be assigned dates if your application is accepted. So I encourage you to mark as many of those available dates as possible. I guess for Spectra, it's only 3 periods. So if you can put something together potentially for all 3 of those periods or within all 3 of those periods, mark all of those. That makes John and I's job a lot easier as we're calendaring your project, because keep in mind, you remember the slide that had the beautiful artwork on the wall and all the people and the tables in the middle of the room? That was what we call an external event. And what that really means is it's not a Creative Exchange Fund event. We have those happening all the time. So we have to weave these Creative Exchange Fund projects within those external reservations. And that's exciting and a good thing for you, because it means more people are going to come through and see your work, potentially people that wouldn't otherwise see it. And then if you didn't get the thing that I popped in the chat about the workshops with Lucas Cowan this year, that first one, the time has already been set for it. We'll set the times for the second and third, but those will be required for you to attend, for at least the lead artist to attend, and anyone else involved with the project is totally invited. That will be a required professional development component of the program. So that did get some questions going in the chat. Someone asks, do you need examples of all artists involved in the exhibition? I think with any application, the more information you can provide, the better. We definitely want you to identify the artists that are going to be involved in your project, but we understand if they may not know the specific works that they are going to bring to your exhibition. And so that's okay if you can't name the specific work that they're going to bring. But definitely we want to know who is involved in your exhibition. Amber, is there anything else to add to that specific question?
I think that's good. I think you covered that.
Okay, that's a really great question. And this should go without saying, we're all artists and creatives here. Definitely check with the people that you are thinking about involving in your exhibition before you write them into your proposal. That's just good grant etiquette. Is there a maximum number of artists that can be in the exhibition? I don't think so. Is there a maximum number?
I said no, just a minimum of 3 artists, but I will say, consider your budget. You have $4,500. So, if you bring in 50 artists, please just, we want you to pay the artists that are participating. So I think it's just limited to your budget. If you've got 50 incredible friends that you're like, listen, I'm going to give you $25 and we're all going to do this crazy wild thing, we're open to that. We just want to make sure that you're being equitable to the artists. So we're pretty open to what that can look like, but just keep in mind the budget, I would say.
Yeah, and Alan, I see your question. I'm going to grab it, but I want to say something else that spawned something in my brain. All of the funds except the mixtape music series, you are able to sell tickets to or sell your work or merch or whatever. The medium does not have a point of sale, so you would be responsible for like setting up a Squarespace or something like that. But you would keep 100% of any earned revenue from Spectra people won't be selling tickets, but if you were to price the pieces and you made that sale, you would be able to retain 100% of that earned revenue. So that's something to keep in mind. Alan is wondering about the paneling criteria. So we talked a little bit about risk taking. What else can we say about that, Amber? Definitely that goes back to that question, like, do I have to know the pieces? I mean, that to me signifies a well thought out project. And I'm not a panelist, but I would think that application would rise to the top. It's not a criteria for evaluation. But yeah. Oh, and Amber has the slide pulled up. Yeah.
I had a different one pulled up, but this is, I think, the one that, this is what the panelists will be, sort of the rubric they'll be reviewing your application through this lens. So screenshot this if you have a moment. It'll be on the website later as well, but this is helpful for you as you're writing your application.
Yeah, and as this project proposal, begins to form itself within your mind, and alongside the one-on-ones opening on June 29th, that's a great arena, that one-on-one session with one of us to kind of go through these criteria and make sure that you're on the right path in the proposal development.
These are great questions. If you have other ones, please take advantage of us. We're here. We're ready to answer your questions. No question is stupid. This is a lot of information. if you have specifics about what you're thinking of, I know that we're also recording, so you may not want to share that, but feel free to DM us. But if you have specifics about, is this possible? Could I do this? We're here to answer that too. And if
And
you
I
don't
think,
feel,
yeah,
oh,
we're
I
going
was
to say
just going to
DM.
reiterate. Yeah, I was just going to reiterate the one-on-ones. Those will be,
Yeah.
those aren't open yet, but please watch for those because that is such a valuable resource to just sit across from one of us and kick around some ideas and talk through.
Yeah, and the link to register to those will be on that CXF page on our website, which I dropped into the chat 37 times. So yes, please sign up with for a one-on-one with us. Amber did a really good job touching on lead artists too. And I'm always gonna like point people back to the FAQs. Those FAQs have grown. I think they doubled since last year. Last year, y'all were bringing questions that we were like, that's a good question. We don't know the answer to that. But we found out answers this past year. And a lot of those are in the FAQs. And I do super encourage you to read that one about lead artists. What is the lead artist? Who is a lead artist? Because it ties into, can I apply for more than one fund? Because we get that question a lot. So like, for example, you as a lead artist can apply to the Spectra Series, but you can also be a drummer in a band that's gonna play the mixtape music series. You just can't be the lead artist for that mixtape music series application, if that makes sense. Another question, can you, yeah. Can events be part of the indoor exhibition thinking about visual? Ooh, this is a great question. So can you have an event? I'm reading that as like an in-person event, thinking about a visual arts plus literature possibility. So maybe a reading or open mic. So I would want to unpack that a little bit and know how, like, see how that tied into the visual art component. But something that's new this year is our visual art nights. Those are preset dates where the Spectra artists and the medium artists in residence will simultaneously, we're going to open the building for those two specific funds and invite people in, have a reception, do all of those fun things. So if your application is accepted, Sabine, maybe that could be a part of that visual art night. What do you think, Team Medium? That's something we'd have to like unpack. Yeah, cool. Visual art nights, we call it the van. Get in the van. We like acronyms here.
We have 3 minutes. And something I wanted to point out, and Thalia may have already said this in the chat earlier. If you're still on the line or trying to think how you fit into this, go to the medium.art/CXF, click on Spectra Series. And if you scroll to the bottom, there's a really beautiful video that Evan made featuring Thomas Erickson, one of the featured images that I showed you. And it's Thomas talking about his project and what he did and how he incorporated other artists into his project. He's a really great example. Underneath that is also a few of the previous recipients, just for you to look at and sort of poke around, do your research, see what we're looking for, see what our panelists were attracted to last year and what sort of rose to the top. And I think I want to end on this note too. Please know that we want to celebrate bold experimental projects. We're here for the weird. We're here for you to take risks and do some wild and interesting things that are maybe not being seen or represented in other places across Northwest Arkansas, or maybe they are, we don't know. Just know that we're really open to that. So please don't talk yourself out of applying because of how, sending in an application is sometimes hard, but please know that we are here to accept and look into your fun and interesting approaches to group exhibitions.
I got one more question, Amber. Can we
Awesome.
scooch that one in before
Yes,
we
yeah, do it.
let people go? Does the medium provide reception, food, drinks, or would that be a part of our budget? That's a good question because we're only doing this like one visual art night. Typically, you would need to put that in your budget for the reception. And so I'm going to hold with that answer because I don't know that we have allocated any money to spread across that whole night. But good question. Also, when those one-on-ones open on June 29th, well, I don't think you'll be able to, never mind, forget that. I was going to say, try to get a one-on-one with Cynthia, who's on this call. She's our front of house and events coordinator, or Amber, because they're the two people on the team that are like, this is their jam, like visual art is their thing. So maybe you'll get a one-on-one with them. I think those are going to be chosen randomly. So sorry for getting your hopes up.
Thank you all
How's that
so
for
much for being
IP
here.
and Zoom.
It's the end of the day. I'm proud of all of us for making it here. Thank you all for taking time to learn a little bit. Please reach out to us. Our email that I am looking at, and I will forward it to other people if it's a question I feel like they could answer better than I could. Please email us at cxf@catchcreate.org. If you go to the Medium's website, it also has all of our email addresses. So, send us an email if you have questions and we will switchboard it around and get you the answers you need. So thank you again. We're proud of you for taking time to be here. We appreciate you. And we look forward to seeing your applications. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Everyone have a great night.
Bye, everyone. John, take it away.